Spacey shit.
Here in the UK, the weather has been absolutely atrocious, so I've not had any opportunity to go out and shoot any astro targets, whether it's deep sky or nightscapes. So I decided to put on my thinking cap and start digging through Stellarium for some lesser known targets. So some of you already know I shoot with a fairly wide setup. I use a 360mm scope, which means some of these targets I found are going to look tiny. But framed correctly, some of these targets have got some amazing surrounding gases and nebulosity. Filter wise, I'll be using, I was going to say my favourite filters, but they're just the ones I own. I've got the L-Extreme filter, I've got the SV220 filter, the version B, S2 and O3, and I've also got a clipping filter, STC Multispectra, for broadband targets. Right, before I head into the targets I'm going to shoot, I'm going to just quickly go through the gear that I'm going to be using. So I've already mentioned the scope. I've got a 360mm scope. I'll be using my Sony a6300 Astro modified camera as the main camera. The mount I'll be using is a Star Adventurer GTI. For guiding, I'll be using the ASI 120. Taking care of the guiding is the ASI Air Mini. Right, with that sorted, let's jump straight into the targets.
Number one on the list is the easiest one of the lot, NGC 869 and NGC 884, the double cluster. This double cluster is bright, full of colour and ideal for a 360mm scope. Both clusters sparkle with blue giants, red supergiants, and they sit in a super rich part of the Milky Way. What a lot of people never mention is that this region actually contains extremely faint HA in the background. So I'm thinking with my L-Extreme filter, I can pick up some soft red glow behind the stars. Nothing dramatic, but hopefully just give the shot a little bit of depth. Number two is NGC 2632 or the Beehive cluster. The Beehive cluster is big and should more or less fill the frame of my 360mm scope. Lots of bright stars, lots of natural colours and surprisingly dense environment.
Number 3 is IC443, or the Jellyfish Nebula. The Jellyfish Nebula is a supernova remnant, and at 360mm the bright core is the main subject. The surrounding faint HA clouds extend outward beautifully. Frame the jellyfish to one side to let the soft red emission stretch across the frame. Or, if you move the jellyfish itself to one side, you can just about get the Monkey Head Nebula in. Number 4 is IC2177 or the Seagull Nebula. Huge HA emission region. At 360mm you can capture the head, the wings of the seagull, while leaving room for the surrounding diffused gas. Extended HA clouds give the nebula scale. I'd recommend narrowband HA, S2 and O3 filters. Number 5 is C19 or the Cocoon Nebula, plus Barnard 168. This bright core of the Cocoon is small. I mean, it's tiny. For my 360mm scope, it is tiny. But Barnard 168, it produces a great dust lane. It stretches right across the frame. Offset the core slightly to allow the dust lane to flow diagonally.
I'll probably use narrowband and broadband for this target. Narrowband for the nebulosity and the broadband for the surrounding dust.
Number 6, we've got M78 or Casper the Friendly Ghost. M78 is a reflection nebula with dust swirling all around it. It can be framed to capture part of Barnard's loop. It can also be framed to capture both the Horsehead and the Flame Nebula. I will probably use broadband and narrowband filters for this one. Okay, next on the list is a tricky little target, NGC 2359, also known as Thor's Helmet. It's a bright bubble with faint wings. This target's going to be tiny through a 360mm scope. I'm not sure if I'm being a little bit too optimistic, but I'm going to give it a go anyway. There's a little bit of surrounding gas that includes shock waves. And if I frame it correctly, I might even be able to squeeze in a little bit of the Seagull Nebula. Or at least some gases and nebulosity from it anyway. I'll give it a go. I'll definitely be using narrowband filters for this one.
Number 8 is actually a star, a very bright star called Meissa. This star is surrounded by lots of faint HA and dust. If you've ever shot a widefield of Orion, you've probably captured this. It's It's an amazing looking target. I've never done it before, so this is definitely on the list. I'll be using my narrowband filter for this one. Number 9, IC417, also known as the Spider and Fly Nebulae. Small knots of HA emission inside a larger faint HA cloud. This can be nicely framed up to include the Flaming Star and the Tadpoles Nebula. Again, I'll be using my narrowband filter. And finally, number 10, SH2-261, also known as Lower's Nebula. This target's got a lovely bright core. And framed correctly, who can help me out here? What's that other little deep space object nearby? Again, I'm going to be using a narrowband filter for this one.
So that's my list. 10 smaller, sometimes overlooked targets. Have you shot any of these with a wide field setup like mine? Did you manage to put out any nebulosity, any surrounding gases? Drop me a comment, let me know how you got on with yours. So once that rain finally stops, I can get out there and try and capture these slightly obscure targets. Thanks for watching.